Captain's Personal Log, subdate 200828.1. With the talks coming to an end, as neither side is getting what they want, I've messaged Subfleet, using an encrypted subspace bandwidth, to issue a full exterminatus of the Naboo. Problem solved, really. The remaining Gungans can find a home in these waters, safe from Sithi's lubed-up grasp. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter. Today we have quite a lot of subjects to go through. Before that, though, I will be hosting a political recap stream on Moistonian live at 9:30 PM GMT. Also going to be streaming some Karen Simulator, the correct version, over on Twitch. Before that, around 7 PM GMT. Link to both in the description down below. To start, we're going to further prove the point that the United Kingdom's police force is an absolute joke. This time, Greater Manchester Police, who have #update. Officers attended a property in Swinton, where 3 families were celebrating a child's birthday in a private garden. The home owner has been issued with a fixed penalty notice. This is because Greater Manchester, for the most part, is under lockdown, but it's nice to see your resources being put to good use, of course. Not total sarcasm at all. Do I need to keep this on the screen any longer? Moving on from that, I want to give you another random block of the week, courtesy of the LGBTQ+ icon. Desmond is amazing. My first instinct said, wait, is Desmond old enough to have a Twitter account? Turns out you only have to be 13, and he may well be 13. So yes, he can in fact have one, and it is moderated by his parents anyway, because as we all know, they're good parents. Next, I have a video clip I'd like to show you.
This establishment is not black owned, but you're stealing black culture. Is this not black culture? Trap tea, the boba plug? No, you're thieves. Asian people stealing black culture once again. It's okay, you'll be exposed though. You're not black owned, you're stealing black culture. You're stealing black culture. No, I came here because I thought it was black owned. That's why I came here. I told my friends I'm supporting a black business.
Isn't it lovely when people get triggered over tea? In this case, tea that was invented in Taiwan. You know, that totally independent country that China keeps on claiming they own, to the point where everyone else says, yeah, China owns you, and Taiwan's like, nah fam. Oh, and for the sake of it, I stand with Taiwan. They are their own country. Just like Hong Kong, which has gone oddly quiet. For the sake of it, complaining over tea is the single most British thing you could do, which means I get to now say to the person moaning in the video, that's cultural appropriation. Congratulations. Moving on from that, we get to talk about coronavirus, where the Metro, a UK tabloid blah 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 newspaper I guess, has put out a tweet of, serious question, how long do you think people will keep their masks on? Now they've done an article on it, it's pretty trite. However, I do tend to think masks will remain in place in many institutions and public transport. I think this will be the case regardless. But I do think when it comes to places like shopping centres, if they don't die off entirely in favour of online shopping, they're going to have to find a way around it because you can't ID someone with most of their faces obscured. An argument that used to be in place where they banned hoodies, but no one's banned other forms of full-on face coverings like shredders yet. Oh well, and for the sake of it, I do actually want to know what you think about this one. Do you think masks will remain in place long-term or not? From Quite Interesting's Twitter account, 10% of Americans think it is acceptable to start drinking at 10 AM or earlier. Without a source, I'm not entirely sure what they're referring to. I think drinking should be okay at any time of the day you like. If you're going to be talking about alcohol, which is what I think you're talking about, it truthfully doesn't matter too much because, well, Yorkshire tea was trending for a reason around the same time as this. We have beverages that have no alcohol in that are stronger than all your light beers. Just saying. Moving on from that, the Financial Times have tweeted out, Venezuela's oil industry was once the envy of the region, but after decades of mismanagement and corruption, the sector is facing ruin. Others have started to blame this on US-installed dictatorships and others socialism. I personally blame the dinosaurs. Bear with me here. It's their fault the crude oil they have is really, really rubbish, to the point where it is not cost effective to refine it. They may well have at one point had good oil, but cheaper oil was found elsewhere, so it makes sense that nobody would go to Venezuela's oil because it's just not worth it. But we can blame the US if you like. I do recall Jeremy Corbyn, formerly the leader of the opposition in this country, championing Venezuela's system of socialism, as he himself called it, and as is unsurprising about socialism, or communism, it's hard to tell these days, it failed. What a shocker. Next we go to Anna Oppenheim, who says fish and chips is not British food. It's the food of every country that has seaside, and most countries are not arrogant enough to claim it as theirs. It's like saying you invented orange juice. Actually, you're wrong. The origin of fish and chips is England. It is widely believed to have come from a Jewish immigrant called Joseph Marlin, who opened the very first combined fish and chip shop in London in 1860. 3 years later, it was popularised in the north of England, which led to it then becoming more popular. But for the sake of it, let's just say the United Kingdom, or England more notably, did not create fish and chips. It's okay. At least we created curry, queuing, disappointment, complaining. Arguably, all of these are the absolutely greatest things ever to have been created ever. And disagreeing with us, I think you're just begging for World War III at that point. And I just want to point it out, we've won 2 of those. I wonder how much of a dick I can be in one video. Moving on from that, I want to talk about Logan the Hoosier. The whole men's rights activist thing completely messed up any discussion of actual men's issues that really need to be talked about, which are very much inherent to feminism. Now, this is a very interesting point, because there are lots of feminists, all in varying stages of feminism and equality, different types to suit different cultures. Intersectional, I believe, is the term often used. Yet, the ones that are most vocal, the ones that we see more often, are truly the most insufferable, and yet when asking other feminists about that, you will usually get fobbed off with, yeah, but they don't represent all of feminism, which is a rather interesting cop-out. There are far fewer men's rights activists or advocates, and yet they are all tarred and feathered because they raise men's issues, and it's usually because of the counter very feminist argument of, yeah, but men have run society. Men's mental health, not a concern, which, by the way, is a lesser thing with a lot of feminists now, but it has and had been a prevalent problem when it came to recognizing difficulties and differences amongst people. It is why I've never, ever accepted the term feminist in its current form, because it never strove for equality. It just wanted to dump on people because they were either straight, white and or male, which is remarkably pathetic. When it comes to men's rights, some have mucked up discussion, but again, the same response of, you do realise they don't represent all men's rights activists should be used here too, right? At the end of the day, the one thing that matters is that people push for equality cause. Nobody should be dismissed because of the issues they raise, and yet, over the years I've been on YouTube, more men have been dismissed than women, on the internet anyway. Then again, some of it's happened in Parliament. It's why Jess Phillips was a meme for so long, along with what Sargon of Akkad said, not being drawn in on that. The final 2 things I'd like to cover are videos. The first comes from the former footballer and beanpole, Peter Crouch, who, because he tweeted this out, got Brian May trending because Brian May's in the background of this in a photo frame.
Okay. There's a song. Now!
What have you done? Fall off your chair.
I keep trying to f***ing shut the door. Drop me guitar, please.
Alright, I've got it.
Something's not broke.
Well, at least he kept the guitar safe. And the final one is actually a very old meme, but it seems to have resurfaced because another trashy person has said another trashy thing, which has gotten everyone cancelling them.
Good luck.
I love those videos. It's always nice to see communities working together towards a goal of simply, no, we don't want none of that. As with everything I cover here, I'd love to know what you think, so please do let me know in the comments down below. If I don't see you on the Moistski live channel or on Twitch, have a fantastic Friday and subsequent weekend, and thank you all for listening.